welcome, listeners, welcome, viewers. Of course, anytime you hear that Troubadours talk in the background, you know what it's about. It's a mid-morning buzz here on Classic Radio, GBN TV. And you know, every time we're chipping on a Friday morning, there's always that special segment we have to throw out at you. Something that will certainly bring that cool feeling to your rest of your Friday and, of course, roll you smoothly into the weekend. My guest in studio this morning, I simply call him by, how would I like to say it, his sobriquet. That's how we say it?
Yeah, man.
Good morning, Cryave. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's a pleasure to be here. Big up the whole of Grenada listening in right now. Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
Listening as usual, man. So, I mean, the season is approaching. Spice Mass
for sure.
2026.
26.
A bit of an early feel in terms of throwing out the music. How do you feel about, before we get into in-depth of the conversation, how do you feel about, in artists in particular, yourself and other artists, putting out music in a timely manner? What's your take on that? In terms of getting, especially that folks, you know, sometimes Grenadians have a way of soaking, things have to soak in.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And I've actually been on the receiving end of that. I've been on the tail end of that spectrum where I feel like for the past couple of years, some of my music has been released too late.
Yeah.
And that's something that me and my team has taken a look at, and we've decided, okay, we're gonna have a proper release schedule, make sure that each song gets a proper amount of time, not just to soak in with the people, but to resonate, but to have its own, you know, period of time where it can really.
So get it into that constant rotation.
Exactly.
I always taken aback in terms of why artists always feel, well, carnival season, I'm waiting until June, July. Latter part of July for some artists to release songs, and then, you know, for some song, depending on the nature of it, depending on what the concept of the song, it may get that instant gravitation.
That's true.
You understand?
And it's a bit of a risky game to play. I mean, because that's when the airways become the most saturated.
Exactly.
And
you have to
DJs,
with more.
Exactly. DJs have a crucial decision to make in those time periods, whether I'm gonna give time to this song that's blowing up at that song. So the DJs have it tough as well. So that's why, to make it a lot easier on them, I feel like as artists we start releasing our music a little bit earlier, and we get gradual releases one after the other, and you build that connection with the fans as well, because they're starting to hear you now. They're looking out for more from you, and I feel like it's only beneficial to us artists.
You know, my philosophy in terms of that, I will always say, if you have good music, it will stand the test of time.
That's true.
You know,
very true.
I have seen, you know, artists who may have released music in May. You know, and went through the entire carnival season already, even to the option of winning titles with it. You understand? I've seen that happen over the years. So let's get into the meat of the conversation. Cryave the Artise. Talk to me about who is, if there's someone who's listening, may have heard of you, known of you winning the Groovy Monarch one time. You know, Cryave the Artise. Who's Cryave the Artise?
That's a simple question, man. Cryave, Cryave. I'm just a young man from the beautiful parish of St. Mark, just living his country boy, living his absolute dream of making wonderful music for people to enjoy. I've always been a vocalist. I've been singing ever since I was 5 years old. My mother noticed I had a talent for music, and she cultivated that. So I love her to death for that. I'll always be grateful that she cultivated that love for music in me, and I wouldn't be who I am today. So if you want to know who Cryave is, then you have to know a little bit of my background when it comes to that.
How has it started off for you? You said you said mom heard that talent, so that you have available there, and she nurtured you to go through the way you are today. How has it started? How has it started for you? How did it really start for you?
Well, it started off like a lot of artists in church and a lot of Grenadians in church. My mom was very religious, and she brought me to church every Sunday, and she noticed that I had a knack for not just singing along to the songs, but memorizing lyrics and stuff like that. And because of that, she kind of started nurturing and making me sing in Sunday school and putting me forward for singing. Because not only did she notice I had the voice, she noticed I had the recollection even at 5. Okay. So from there, she started, putting me in little competitions when we had in St. Mark. And I think the first competition I ever entered was St. Mark Got Talent, which I won at 5 years old.
All right.
And since then, I've been, she started challenging me to write my own stuff. And by the age of 6, 7, I was already writing down lyrics. And I just developed a really, really big passion for music. And it's kind of hereditary because my mom is a singer as well. Okay. And both my sisters are singers. Well, my cousin is Vaughn. So it's like, it runs in the blood. It runs in the blood. Music is really part of us.
Folks may know you mostly for tapping into the genre of soca music and stuff, but how is the other genres for you? Have you ever tapped into the other genres of music?
Well, yeah, I would say I got my start doing mostly R&B and hip-hop and pop music. As a matter of fact, if you were to go on YouTube and type in LEDRAGON, you'd find a lot of underground music. So La Dragon, a lot of underground pop, hip-hop, and R&B music that I would have released as a very young teen, sometime maybe even younger than that, maybe it's 12, 13, 14. So a lot of that music.
How was that for you? I mean, tapping into those genres, it's very rare you hear, most Caribbean individuals, maybe one or two may have made an impact in that. What was that for you?
It definitely was a slow burn. I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't much of a market for it when I started off, and it was mostly passion projects. Like I love music, and Michael Jackson was my idol at the time, and I think my mom loved Michael Jackson as well. So that's kind of where I started getting a lot of my vocalization practice from singing and performing his songs. So that's where my love for pop and R&B and music came from, and it just kind of grew from there. And I just wanted to be so much like him that I started trying to write my own pop music, and it evolved from pop into hip hop, and it just kind of grew from there. And the transition to soca, well, we can talk about that next, but
Well, as you mentioned it, let's talk about it. Soca music. I remember when the first time I heard about Cryave. That's when you winning the Groovy Monarch title. What year was that?
That was 2022.
2022. And that was significant for you.
Very significant
for you. I mean, even noticing the other talents that you had to come up against.
Yeah.
On the night of competition.
Yeah, that
you
was
coming on the one being triumphant. It was really.
It was really something, man. Wow.
How was that for you?
Wow. Well. I'll take a quick step back, but because before I released that song, my very first song, and I have to big up Mr. Eugene Gittins on that. He was one of the very first ally I had in the soca industry that really helped me create the career that I have today. So he played a crucial role in that, and I just want to say big up to him wherever he is. So Eugene Gittins, big up yourself. That very first song I released was a soca called Genie Lover. You have a genie stuck in a
I remember that song, and but not and that's a problem sometimes in Grenada, not knowing the artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Much, but you hear the song, and I remember Genie Lover. I remember maybe I was on another station at the time, and remember giving that song a lot of love.
Yeah, that song got a lot of love from Grenada as a whole, and I it was amazing to see the amount of love that I got for that song.
I think it was part of a rhythm compilation, right?
Yeah, it was. I believe Lava Man had a song on that as well. A couple of other artists. It was called the Time Capsule Rhythm.
Yes, that's it.
Mr. Roots. Mr. Roots Time Capsule Rhythm.
I remember that clearly. No, I remember it was part of the rhythm collection, and you always seem to get that particular song. Genie Lover was always part of the rotation. And anytime anyone was to play that particular rhythm,
exactly. And
so that was like your first soca.
That was the very first soca, and believe it or not, my second soca was on Border that I won with. So I released Genie Lover in 2019. 2020 was COVID, so we didn't really have 2021 as well, kind of, tied up the carnival. But 2022 was when we reintroduced carnival back. It was the very first one back after COVID, and I released Unbothered. That don't bother me and I took Grenada by storm that year and actually ran away with the crown, and I was elated, man. I couldn't believe it.
I remember. I don't think I attended the Soca one, but maybe it was broadcast, and I remember watching, and I said, "This guy is." It was a really healthy performance on the night.
Thank you.
Really healthy performance on the night, and a deservedly win at the time.
Yeah, thank you.
With all the other contenders that you came up against, it was
all it was tight. It was really, really close, and I could feel that it was close because all the performers that performed that night, they put
Everybody
out.
Put their A game that
they
night,
put their A game that night because we all knew that there was an opportunity there to really show Grenada that listen, we're the next generation of artists. Because remember, in that period of time, a lot of the previous generation like Boise, Dash, and these men,
they chilled out
for that period.
Yes.
So as the next generation, we decided, you know what, we have to show Grenada that listen, we can actually carry the mantle for Grenada Soca going forward. And I think we really did a good job of doing that. So every single person who performed that night, big up to them.
Yeah, wow. Great. Tell me, what does your music means to you as an individual? Because sometimes people do songs and folks get songs, they write songs. But what do you as an individual create? What does your music means to you?
Man, I always tell people that music that I release, I feel like they're to me like children. Like the way you feel about your son or your daughter is the way I feel about my music when I put it out.
When you get your son or daughter, welcome to the music.
I know my daughter is probably fuming.
Oh, you do have a daughter? She's probably saying, she like the music more than me. Yeah?
But yeah, it really does feel that way. You know, like it's a deep love that I have, a deep passion that I have for music, and I feel like putting it out there, it's always a risk, because at the end of the day, I'm not making it for myself, I'm making it for the people, and you always want it to go out there and do well, just like you want your son or daughter to go out in the world and be successful, and you feel it when it doesn't, it hurts you, and when it does, you feel that even more, and that's the risk you take, because that's the world we live in, and that it's anxiety, it's a lot of anxiety, but then a lot of elation as well. It's like a lot of feelings all bundled into one.
Because in a Grenadian economy, Caribbean economy, these small islands, their music does not always make that appeal for the bigger world or the outer world.
Yeah, true.
You understand?
True that.
And when you get that appreciation in your own country in terms of the music,
that's crucial.
It's a good feeling.
That's crucial.
What do you think is needed more for you, yourself, and other artists out there who may be having that same feeling as you? What more could be done in terms of getting our music out in particular, getting it out there where I'm not saying our music is not getting the acceptance that it's wanted, yes, but it's still in mediocre levels. If you could say it, if I'm to be blunt about it, it's still at mediocre levels. What do you think is needed more, from a governmental point of view, from the corporations that are responsible and so forth? We have the creative industry. What more is needed to get our music to the level that it should be at?
Wow, that's a very large question, and I say that to mean that there are a lot of different areas that I think we can improve on that will then translate into the end goal that you're looking at, which is getting our music more out there. We have on the DJing aspect, on the artist aspect, you need artists to be releasing quality music on a timely manner. So let's start with the artists first, and then on the DJing aspect, you need our prominent figures in the DJing industry to be mindful, selecting the quality stuff and making sure that we showcase.
Right?
Well, but always trying to showcase the best of what we have and not the worst, and then on the cultural aspect, there's a lot of improvement we can make on supporting our young and upcoming artists, whether it be prominent grant programs to help out, because music is very expensive, and I was very lucky to have found Mr. Gittins, who was willing to invest in me at the early stages. But a lot of artists don't really have the finances, so that impacts the quality. So then we're going right back to where artists have to release quality music. So, and then you have stuff like even as simple as playing Grenada Soca on the airports when people are coming in, not just during Carnival, but throughout the season, you know, making sure that when tourists come here, our music is one of the first things they hear, because that's really part of our culture. So there's a lot of things that can be done on different levels, and I feel like if we start doing them one by one, improving the quality and frequency of our artist releases, improving what the DJs play, making sure they're playing the quality, allowing grants for smaller artists to ensure that they have a financial pathway, or improving financial pathways besides just Soca Monarch for artists to actually make money throughout the year. All of these things are things that we can work on, and that's why I said it's a big question and can't be narrowed down, but definitely those are some things that I think we can.
I agree with you. You know, I always wish that I have the opportunity I could play more local music, but you know, depending on your radio station format, it may not be pretty for you to do that on a constant level. I wish I could sit down here every day and just play all Grenada music. You know, and sometimes I encourage, especially folks above, you know, mediums that I know, I say, play Grenada's music. So then you go to events and you hear the dominance of other countries.
Exactly.
You understand? In terms of their music, and you saying, for instance, you at the, I was looking at the Cryave games the other day, and you hear other countries playing the music of other countries and minimal amount of our own music. I was a little taken aback by that. You go to the various events that is all Grenadian visitors coming. They already know what they have.
Exactly, that's very true.
There should be no, you know, consume a whole lot in what we offering.
Exactly.
Sometimes you get that little distorted feeling there. Why are more of what we doing being played? You understand? And
I absolutely agree. But that's, like I said, that's just a couple of things that we can improve on.
So man, you know, we might be here talking whole day about music. So
because the conversations are flow, you know.
You know, there's new music from you this year.
Yeah.
And a track entitled, you know, Juve Morning Derby. Talk to me about that track. What is it all about?
Wow.
Hit me up with a concept about this song.
So that song is a very unique concept. So what we attempted to do, we're telling a story of Juve Morning, right? And on Juve Morning, you know, you have different genres of music playing across, whether it be different bands, different. So you have your soca music playing. You think of your groovy music playing, your jab music playing, and what we kind of did was we kind of took the idea of Juve Morning and all these different types of music, and we put it in the format of like a derby, a horse race.
Okay.
And by doing that, we were able to create like unique scenarios, and we used two personifications, which is me as a soca artist, Cryave, and an alter ego, which is Nari Bevel, as commentators on the spectacle of what we call Juve Morning. You know, so that now becomes like an explanation of the hype and the energy and the vibe that goes on.
I want to get to where you're going with this.
Exactly.
Let's take a listen up to this song and we come right back. Stay with us, folks.
Everyone to the annual Juve Morning Derby. I am your co-host, Nari Bevel. Over 100,000 beautiful people in attendance today. And hello and welcome everyone to the annual Juve Morning Derby. I am your co-host, Nari Bevel. Over 100,000 beautiful people in attendance today, and more on the way. There's only one horse that can get this many people on the road in one day. Started as the underhorse, as they say, with Cryave on the commentary. They're at the blocks, and now they're Cryave, Soca coming out in front. Real hot show beating up the ground. Look like they want to take the ground. Look, this Soca coming out in style, and the crowd is going wild. horse is dragging its chain. Cryave, what's that horse's name? Listen what the crowd is saying. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up and go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up and go. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up and go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Watch how the jab jab take over tongue. Like that jab, chain on the ground. Like that jab, having the fun. Like that jab, take. Jab has no drink, no water, keep it some rum. Like that jab, take over tongue. Like that jab, chain on the ground. Like that jab, take. But this race is not done. As we approach the final lap, we've seen Jack creep up from the back. He now holds on to second place. There's been an upset in this race. Look, boy, and far out they in front. How they do that? They both stopped. If Jab wants to win this crown, it's gonna have to make up a lot of ground. I think the Jab must have a plan. Refuel our train and shut the rum. Hey, look, Jab is gaining ground. This is going to be a close one. All the crowd is getting on. But as we reach the final stretch, boy, you look like you need a rest. But Jab is still going strong. Look like Jab going to take this run. With the power of
They
the
were saying
run.
go jab jab.
Go jab jab, as the saying goes.
I like the concept of the song. I like putting this together. How was it putting this together? Because what am I taken back? What I take back with this? I never heard you had that particular piece before.
Yeah, yeah, and that's something I'm diversifying the portfolio, as they say. And we've noticed how much Jab has been influencing not just Grenada, because that's our culture, but the foreigners and the foreign people who come in to spectate on Juve and Jab. It really is taking over the carnival scene lately, and this song is just an amalgamation of that. It's just kind of putting that to the forefront, and especially putting it in a visual way that a lot of the foreigners can resonate with, you know, like giving them that visual. So even those who have heard about the Jab and they just wondering what that's gonna be like, it's giving them that vibe, that energy,
that
exactly.
Jab always leading, you know?
Exactly, and the Jab out ahead.
All right, Cryave. It's a pleasure having you here in the studio.
It's always a pleasure, man.
Great
always
music all the time. Great music all the time. Continue to do what you do. You know, as they say when you go out there, break a leg, not the physical, you know.
Yeah, man.
And, you know, and I'm sure this is not just one of your releases for 2026 thus far. I know there's probably much more to come.
Very much more.
More music to come.
Much more music to come. I believe I should be releasing another one maybe the 23rd or so of this month. Like I said, we have a very nice schedule of music coming up. I have
How many
showers
tracks
of
should we
blessing.
expect from you for 2020? How many you plan on releasing this year?
Well, I plan on releasing at least 5 tracks.
5 tracks.
And I think that takes us nicely from this period into the July-August period.
Okay, great.
So a nice, healthy release schedule, 5 tracks, and we have Showers of Blessings, which should be coming out soon. We have another song that I created called Rum and Ramage, which is another kind of vibey, kind of giving you a nice bounce. So I feel like I have a very healthy lineup, and trust me, you guys are gonna be very entertained this year from me.
Once again, Cryave, it's a pleasure. It's about time for us to take a wrap for today, but it's a pleasure having you. Always great conversation in terms of music. You know, sometimes I like to talk to the artists and know how they feel.
Yeah, for sure.
Understand?
That's the best format.
You know, get a really feel of the artist and his music. So until we do this again, probably when you have another release, we're probably gonna be back in doing this.
Back here again.
Shout out to Mr. Gittins as always.
Big up Mr. Eugene Gittins, man. Anywhere you're there, big up yourself.
And best wishes, man. All the best.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's a love. Big up Grenada.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we're going to take a wrap for the day for the mid-morning buzz. Of course, I'm going to be leaving you, with the Juve Morning Derby. Until then, have a good one. That's where we take a wrap for today.
But this race is not done. As we approach, and the crowd is going wild. Just as they start to take the bend, so Cryave gaining up on them. Oil paint and powder kicking up, but Cryave never giving up. And the crowd is just erupt. Hold on, sorry to interrupt you here, Cryave, but wait, oh my, who's that creeping up behind? It must be the jab time. So black and greasy, why? They forgot to untie that horse is dragging its chain. Cryave, what's that horse's name? Listen what the crowd is saying. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up and go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up and go. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Go jab jab, go jab jab, go jab jab, just go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. up and go. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. Watch out the jab jab take over tongue.